Imagine everyone in your town sharing a giant piggy bank. Every time you earn a little money, a coin goes in. Every time you buy something, a coin goes in. Nobody owns the piggy bank alone, but everybody depends on it. That's what taxes are. They keep the street lights glowing at night so you're not walking in the dark. They keep the school doors open so kids can learn. They make sure the fire truck shows up when there's smoke, and the hospital doors never close no matter the hour. It's like the whole country saying, we'll take care of each other together. But here's the strange thing about piggy banks: they only work if everyone agrees to keep dropping coins inside. The government uses these coins to run the country. So, what would happen if Americans suddenly stopped paying tax? Meet David Mitchell, a 38-year-old civil engineer from Denver who thought he understood how the world worked. He paid his taxes grudgingly every year, muttering about wasteful spending as he filed his returns. Then, on an otherwise ordinary Tuesday, Congress passed the Tax Freedom Act, eliminating all federal income taxes effective immediately. Week 1. David's first untaxed paycheck was a revelation. The extra $1,200 felt like winning a mini lottery. He celebrated by taking his wife Lauren to that farm-to-table restaurant they'd been eyeing. All around Denver, restaurants were packed. Everyone was suddenly flush with cash. But at work, whispers started. His firm's biggest project, a federal highway expansion, was suddenly under review. The Department of Transportation had just lost 90% of its funding overnight. His boss called an emergency meeting. Until we know more, all overtime is cancelled. Month 1. The cracks start to show. David notices the changes gradually. His commute took longer as traffic signals started failing. When he called the city to report a broken light at a dangerous intersection, a recording said, "Due to budget constraints, non-emergency services are suspended." Lauren, a public school teacher, came home furious one Thursday. "They're cutting art and music programs district-wide," she said, tossing a letter on the table. Next, they'll increase class sizes to 40 kids. That night, they saw their first private neighborhood security patrol. Their HOA had hired guards since police response times had doubled. Month 3. Slowly it begins to unveil itself. The Mitchells' health insurance premiums tripled when millions lost Medicaid and insurers panicked. David's mother in Florida stopped getting her Social Security checks. When they flew to visit her, TSA lines stretched for hours. Half the staff had quit. Then the layoffs hit David's firm. "All federal contracts are frozen," his boss said grimly. As he packed his desk, a colleague whispered, "I heard the Army Corps of Engineers just furloughed 70% of their staff. Who's going to maintain the levees?" Month 6. The new reality begins to set in. With their savings draining, David took cash under the table, work inspecting houses for wealthy clients who could still afford private engineers. Lauren tried tutoring, but most families couldn't pay. They sold one car, then started skipping meals. One terrifying night, burglars hit 3 houses on their block. The 911 operator put them on hold for 12 minutes before disconnecting. Their neighbor, a retired cop, organized a neighborhood watch with baseball bats and walkie-talkies. Month 9. The breaking point for the couple. The final straw came when Lauren cut her hand badly while cooking. At the ER, a harried doctor told them, "That'll be $3,800 upfront for stitches." The hospital no longer accepted any insurance, just cash or credit. As David argued with the administrator, he noticed the filthy floors and empty hand sanitizer stations. Walking home past shuttered stores, they saw their first cash-only, no federal dollars accepted sign at the grocery store. The dollar was collapsing as foreign investors dumped US debt. A gallon of milk now costs $25. 1 year later, they moved to a different country. David sat in what used to be a public park, now overgrown with weeds. He was meeting a potential client, one of the few people who still needed engineers. The man arrived in an armored SUV with bodyguards. We're building a private water system for the gated communities, the man explained. The city's filtration plant failed last week. Cholera spreading in the poor districts. He offered David triple his old salary, paid in gold or cryptocurrency. As David walked home past the hollowed out shells of schools and libraries, he realized the awful truth. America hadn't just stopped paying taxes, it had stopped being a functioning country. The social contract hadn't been broken, it had been shredded. 5 years later, teaching engineering at a private academy, the last university in Colorado had closed in year 3. David would tell his students, taxes were never about money. They were about civilization. You don't miss the lights until the power goes out, and by then it's too late to flip the switch back on. The classroom solar-powered lights flickered as he spoke. Outside, the sound of gunfire echoed from the uncontrolled suburbs. Some lessons, he reflected, are only learned the hard way.